when you're done resawing, you always got to restack your wood and let it dry for a little bit before you go ahead and use the wood. There's a lot of moisture that's still trapped, and a lot of tension that's trapped in these big blocks of wood. So this is a raw piece of ebony that I bought 8/4. You know, I've been making fretboards, so I've sawed up. What happens if you don't let this piece of wood sit? You get a lot of movement in your wood after you're resawing. So what I do is after I resaw, I sticker, and what they call these stickers. You sticker the wood, you restack it, and I clamp this to make sure I don't get any movement. What happened is I resawed, I left this piece of wood alone, and what went a 4 square side is now got a slight bow that you can see, maybe less than a 32nd, and it wobbles. So you always want to make sure that you stack and re-sticker your wood after you resaw it. And you know, as a rule of thumb, you really want to let it sit and acclimate to your shop. So for me, sometimes I'll let this stuff sit a month, sometimes I'll let it sit for about 2 weeks. But I always want to make sure that the wood isn't moving, and that, you know, keep the wood clamped and set until you are ready to use it. So as I go and make a fretboard, I'll restack this wood and let it sit. You always want to let your wood sit stickered and clamped if you're not going to be using it. That way, as the season change, you don't get any movement in the wood. One thing I want to caution against using, certain stickers will leave marks on your wood if you don't use the right type of wood. So that's just a big caution. A lot of times I'll use MDF or plywood. But really oily woods, I wouldn't really use them as stickers because they'll leave marks on the wood from where the stickers would because of the different moisture properties. So always use, you know, MDF or plastic or material that you know that's not going to kind of bleed into the other wood when you're doing your stickering. I use basswood because I've got some pretty good results with basswood. It's not too oily. These are actually mahogany strips, and I know I'm going to get little marks on this. But that's okay because I still have to process these fretboards down a little bit further. This is about a little bit more than a 1/4 inch, so I need to take off from each side still. So always make sure you sticker and stack your wood. You can see that this is a little 1/8 inch strip that has had some movement because I don't have enough stickers in here. Ideally, you know, depending on the thickness of the wood, the thinner the wood, the more stickers you're going to need. And you know, even in my wood pile, I have weights. So since this is fretboards, it's easier to show, but in my big wood stack with guitar tops, I have 25, 50 pound, 35 pound weights sitting on top of this stuff, so I know I'm not going to get movement on it.